Hello guys, today will compare Ace of Spades vs Archetypes in Lovecraft. Who negs? We will see. Let's start with Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades transcends possibility itself, meaning it surpasses all potential states, outcomes, and branches of reality that could ever exist or be conceived. It transcends totality, meaning it is beyond the complete sum of all things, all systems, all structures, and all realities taken as a whole. It transcends nothingness, meaning it is beyond absolute void, non-being, and the absence of existence, so even true emptiness cannot contain or define it. It transcends fiction and non-fiction in all forms, meaning it surpasses every narrative layer, authorial domain, fictional structure, and any hierarchy where stories contain other stories. It transcends annihilation by embodying absolute subtractive power, meaning it does not merely destroy objects, but erases the very basis that allows something to be defined, perceived, or distinguished. It transcends concepts by negating the frameworks that allow concepts to exist, meaning ideas like space, time, identity, causality, duality, and definition cannot apply to it. It transcends laws and boundaries by existing outside any governing principles such as physics, logic, mathematics, or metaphysical rules, meaning no system can constrain or interpret it. It transcends perspective by being the origin of all viewpoints, meaning observer, observation, and observed reality all depend on it, while depends on none of them. It transcends existence and non-existence by having total control over both states, meaning it is not limited to being and non-being, or any mixture or alternation between them. It transcends immunity by nullifying the very notion of interaction, meaning nothing can affect it, because the conditions required for interaction are erased. It transcends power systems by having absolute access to all abilities, while also surpassing the structures that define what an ability is, meaning it is beyond capability, limitation, or categorization. It transcends reason, logic, and causality by not being bound to coherent explanation or cause and effect relationships, meaning it cannot be derived, predicted, or invalidated. In summary, Ace of Spades transcends all frameworks that allow anything to be distinguished, defined, perceived, or structured, including, but not limited to possibility, totality, nothingness, concepts, laws, perspectives, existence, non-existence, logic, and narrative hierarchy. Now, Archetypes. Lovecraft. Archetypes transcend individuality, meaning they exist beyond any single person, form, or discrete identity, and instead manifest as the eternal source from which all versions, phases, and manifestations of a being arise. They transcend time by existing outside past, present, and future, meaning all moments exist simultaneously to them, and temporal sequence is only an illusion of limited consciousness. They transcend space by being coterminous with all dimensions and locations, meaning no position or distance can localize or contain them. They transcend dimensional limitation by existing beyond the angles of consciousness that produce lower dimensional perspectives, meaning three-dimensional, four-dimensional, or higher dimensional states are merely partial slices of their total being. They transcend change by existing as an unaltered totality, meaning what appears as transformation, growth, decay, or evolution is only the shifting angle from which consciousness perceives the same eternal archetype. They transcend identity by encompassing all selves of a being across species, forms, timelines, and cosmic states, meaning human, pre-human, extraterrestrial, and transgalactic versions are merely facets of one eternal entity. They transcend dualities such as self and other, unity and multiplicity, existence and non-existence, meaning they can be simultaneously one and many without contradiction. They transcend perception by being the source that consciousness cuts into perceivable forms, meaning observer and observed, reality are derivative projections of the archetype rather than independent realities. They transcend reality and illusion by revealing that substance is imposture and illusion is the only perceived reality, meaning material existence has no ultimate foundation outside the archetypal totality. They transcend causality and motion by existing in a motionless total state, where change is only apparent, meaning cause and effect chains are artifacts of limited viewpoints. They transcend mortality and annihilation, because the loss of a single form or identity does not affect the eternal archetype, meaning death applies only to fragments, not to the total being. They transcend perspective, limitation by commanding all possible angles of consciousness, meaning they can perceive fragmented viewpoints or the absolute totality beyond perspective at will. They transcend logical contradiction by allowing simultaneous multiplicity of selves and forms without collapsing into paradox, meaning the archetype contains all variations without requiring consistency in lower logical frameworks. They transcend narrative, locality, by existing as the supreme archetype from which all great thinkers, artists, and entities derive, meaning individual genius is a localized expression of an eternal cosmic source. Alright. Winner. Ace of Spades. Archetypes represent the eternal totality and the source of all manifestations within the framework of existence and consciousness, even if they exist beyond time and space. Ace of Spades, however, Ace of Spades transcends it and nullifies the foundations that allow any framework to exist in the first place. It also possesses absolute abstraction from all fictional frameworks, making it one of the most powerful fictional characters in the entirety of fiction.